With the supposed trade request from Elvis Merzlikins making headlines, I decided to circle back and discuss a few more players that want to be traded. Players for various reasons that have decided that the only solution for their present circumstances is to search for greener pastures. We'll touch on each player's unique situation and some potential teams that they could be traded to. And with that, here are 3 more NHL players that want out. It's definitely a fair statement to say that the last few or so years haven't been too kind to Tyson Barrie, hockey-wise. After notching 48 points in 56 games played for the Oil in his debut season with Edmonton for 2020-2021, Barrie slowly became the odd man out. Due to the emergence of homegrown talent Evan Bouchard, Barrie didn't make a whole lot of sense for GM Ken Holland to hold on to. Therefore, Holland set his sights on swapping an unneeded offensive D-man for a defensive one. And in result, the GM traded Barrie to Nashville in exchange for Mattias Ekholm. Barrie, who has had ample time to adjust as a Predator, has been unable to, unfortunately. Head coach Andrew Burnett has validated just that for the defenseman, as he made Barrie a healthy scratch on 2 occasions this campaign. After enduring the embarrassment of sitting in the press box, Barrie decided to submit a formal trade request to Predators management. Well, if we're getting into it, I'm in the stands, so it doesn't really feel like a great fit, Barrie said. My goal is to be playing hockey, whether that's here or elsewhere, is up for the powers that be to decide. And those powers to be, including Barry Trotz, have given Barrie permission to speak with prospective teams. Barrie, who is a pending UFA, is set to finish out his 3-year deal this offseason that sports an AAV of $4.5 million. Shortly after the request, folks at The Athletic released an article highlighting some teams that could try and snag Barrie before the deadline. I'll have the link below for those who would like to read it, but essentially there could be a lot of interest in Barrie, if not already. A few teams that were listed that make sense are the Dallas Stars, New Jersey Devils, and the Winnipeg Jets. Speaking of Edmonton, it just so happens that they too have a disgruntled player within their organization. Drafted 8th overall in 2019, Broberg was seen as an extremely skilled skater that was fully capable of playing on both sides of the ice. In retrospect, however, knowing that GM Ken Holland passed up on names like Cole Caulfield and Matt Boldy is pretty shocking to say the least. Even still, some elements of the Broberg story have worked against the defenseman, such as the fact that the Oilers already have a decently strong left side consisting of Mattias Ekholm, Darnell Nurse, and Brett Kulak. Also, an ankle injury sidelined Broberg during a crucial development window, causing him to miss a large chunk of the 2021-2022 season. So far, Broberg has largely only been utilized at the NHL level as a replacement for injured players only. Outside of that, he spent the majority of games playing with the Oilers' AHL affiliate, the Bakersfield Condors. Now at 22 years of age, Broberg has decided that he could find a more favorable situation elsewhere, as he formally requested a trade last month. This likely precipitated after he was made a healthy scratch by Chris Knoblauch for 4 straight games and only given around 5 minutes for his last NHL game back in November. His best sample of games came about during the 2021-2022 campaign, where he recorded 23 points in 31 games played for Bakersfield. According to the Hockey News, a few teams that could use Broberg's services are the San Jose Sharks, Montreal Canadiens, and Anaheim Ducks. Let's face it, pretty much nothing has gone well for the Columbus Blue Jackets in this season so far. From having a head coach that can't seem to manage Patrick Laine to becoming the second worst team in the East, CBJ has been a major disappointment in just about every way possible. And as most of us know, along with every struggling team, there's usually a struggling netminder. After finishing with the second worst save percentage last season league-wide with a .876, Elvis Merzlikins was hoping for redemption as his current season kicked off. Unfortunately for him, however, the goaltender hasn't proven to coach Pavel Vincent that he's worthy of taking the reins in net or even warming the bench at times. as Merzlikins has been a healthy scratch now on 3 occasions in this season alone. Therefore, in response, Merzlikins decided that a change of scenery would be the best solution to his present woes. Now, I know there was a lot of misinformation floating around about the netminder submitting a trade request. However, now that the dust has settled, Aaron Portzline over at The Athletic has set things straight. Following his first in-game action in over 2 weeks, Merzlikins spoke to the media after securing an overtime W. "After my last interview, everybody knows I requested for a trade," he says. "Everyone was still here playing for me and blocking shots for me," he says. Now obviously anyone hearing this would think that indeed he did request a trade. No ifs, ands, or buts. Despite this, it was later clarified in the article I mentioned that the goaltender misspoke and meant to say that he and the Blue Jackets have mutually agreed that a trade is the only option moving forward. "I just want to be treated as a number one. I believe I am number one," Merzlikins says. "It didn't get to that point that I'm requesting a trade. It went to the point that both sides agreed," he says. Regardless of the fact that both player and management are on the same page, a trade at least at this point of the season is going to be challenging, due to the fact that Merzlikins is only in the second year of his $27 million deal. The contract is going to be a hard one to move. Knowing that he won't be a UFA until 2027, most GMs would see adding his $5.4 million AAV to the books as risky at best. However, for the sake of speculation, there have been a few teams mentioned that could use Merzlikins' services. A few contending teams that could definitely use some help in nets are the New Jersey Devils, Carolina Hurricanes, and the Detroit Red Wings. In conclusion, it's going to be interesting to see if and when these 3 players get traded. As I mentioned, I have a feeling that Merzlikins will remain with the Jackets at least until this coming off-season. If you're new to my channel and enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe. It really helps me out. And if you're already subscribed and consuming my content on the regular, consider joining my Patreon. With plans that start at just $1 a month, you'll receive perks such as video previews, monthly shoutouts, unseen channel analytics, and more. Simply click the link below to get started. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.